BRB Network TV with Brian Hertzock.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of BRB Network TV, the Baton Rouge Business Network. I'm your anchor for today's show, Brian Hertzock, the Let's Talk About It television program, The Edition, with Bobbie Clark. She's in studio with some colleges with the subject of dual enrollment is what we're going to be talking about for this particular hour. Get your notepads out. Get ready to learn some extremely valuable information that can be great for your high school kids with regard to getting credits for college right now. Here it is, the Let's Talk About It television program with Bobbie Clark.
Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Hello, I'm Bobbie Clark, and I'm here today to talk about dual enrollment. And I have a couple of guests with me from Baton Rouge Community College. We have with us today Dr. Sandra Stokes, Director of Dual Online and Weekend Enrollment at the Baton Rouge Community College. We also have with us Monique Cross, who's the Dean for Business and Social Sciences at Baton Rouge Community College. And welcome to the both of you.
Thank you.
It is so good to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
Oh, for sure. Well, I did some research on dual enrollment and found that during President Bush's administration, he allocated $125 million through the U.S. Department of Education to increase access to dual enrollment for at-risk students. The plan was to give grants to help states create dual enrollment programs, scholarships, and other activities so that high school students could earn college credits. So we'll start with you, Dr. Stokes. What is dual enrollment and what are some of the benefits?
Well, that's a very good question. Dual enrollment is the opportunity for high school students to take college level credit courses while they're in high school. What are the benefits? The benefits are numerous, but I'll give you a few. For example, we have high school students who are taking college level courses with the guidance of their parents, and they're also able to earn college credit towards a degree program or certificate, and this gives them a head start. It also gives them an opportunity to become acclimated to that post-secondary environment.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
When you talked about receiving a certificate, they are receiving a certificate from Baton Rouge Community College, and what kind of certificate is it?
Well, that's another good question. We have several types of programs that we are offering for the students, and one is the Certificate in Services, Customer Services. Yes. So what will happen is those students will matriculate through that program of study, and at the completion of high school, they will have come out with their high school diploma as well as the certificate. That certificate is also nationally recognized.
So you're saying that they could come out of Baton Rouge Community College having courses, academic courses or technical courses. Is that what this means?
Yes, it does mean that, but Baton Rouge Community College basically focuses on the general education courses, or trying to get those students who aspire to earn a degree a head start. That's our main focus.
Okay.
But we do work with technical certifications at our sister institutions.
All right. So tell me, Monique, who qualifies or who's eligible for dual enrollment?
Well, students that are juniors and seniors qualify for dual enrollment.
Excuse me, it's just juniors and seniors?
Well, typically you want to see students that are junior and senior level.
Okay.
And we would like to see that they have no less than a 2.0 GPA. And so those are some students that are typically qualified. That's some basic qualifications.
Absolutely.
All right. Are there any other qualifications
Yes,
for a student who is going to be coming to Baton Rouge Community College to take dual enrollment courses?
Yes, there are, and I think I'd like to talk
Sure.
to that
Okay.
aspect of it. If we have students who want to participate in dual enrollment through the LOSFA tuition reimbursement program,
Yes.
there are guidelines that have been implemented through the Board of Regents and LOSFA. LOSFA is the Louisiana Office of Student Financial Assistance, and some of those criteria are they need to have at least an 18 composite score on the ACT or plan, and then they need to have at least an 18 in English and a 19 in mathematics.
Okay. I'm not cutting you off, but I want to stop because we're talking to our audience, and I want to make sure the parents understand and the students what you mean. What is the difference between plan and ACT?
Okay, ACT is a nationally recognized assessment. Plan is something
Which
that
is ACT is required to attend college?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Most institutions ask for the ACT scores.
Okay. All right. So let's say they took the SAT. Would they still qualify to come to Baton Rouge Community College?
Yes, as long as their SAT scores are equivalent to the ones that I gave you a few minutes ago.
For the ACT?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Now tell me about plan. How does that differ from the ACT/SAT?
Well, plan is a test that is administered to, the 10th grade students in Louisiana, okay?
All right.
ACT is something that they go out on their own and take.
Okay, so a student can come to BRCC having a score of 18 on either plan or the ACT. Is that correct, Monique?
That is correct.
Okay.
The SAT is going to be, there's an equivalent of the ACT score. So as long as it's equivalent to the 18 ACT score.
Okay, so when are they taken? At what point in a student's academics would they qualify to enroll in the dual enrollment program, and where would the courses be held?
The courses are typically, there's several different venues. We can send the instructors out to the high schools and teach those courses at the high school. Students can also come and join classes that are held at the campus, and then we also have online. So there's various avenues that they can participate in dual enrollment. And sometimes the students really like when you're able to go out to their school because they're comfortable in that environment and they're able to, I think, gradually get into that college setting where they're in a comfortable situation.
Now, when the Baton Rouge Community College instructor goes to the school, is that professor teaching college courses, or is that professor teaching them high school courses?
This is definitely a college course that they're teaching. It is the same standards, the same expectations that students would have if they were actually enrolled in a class on campus. So they are getting college credit for those courses, so you certainly want to make sure that it's the same rigor, the same material that's covered. So they would actually be completing a college level course while they're still in high school.
Okay.
And if I may just interject
Sure.
something, we would prefer, or we have them take that course. You were asking about the level of the course, and they have the high school aspect of it on the alternating days that we are not there. And when I say we, I'm talking about the professor that's working on behalf of Baton Rouge Community College.
Okay, explain that to me again.
When the students are taking a dual enrollment course,
Yes.
they're getting credit for high school and college. So what it means is that they're going to take the college aspect of it from our BRCC professors, and then they'll have their schools give them whatever it is they need to do to take care of the secondary aspect of the course.
Okay. Now, it wasn't very clear to me, and so I'm trying to make sure I understand. So you're saying that the student is taking one day with their instructor from the school?
Typically,
I lost something.
Okay, if I may interject there. Typically, college classes are either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. So with we see a lot of the dual enrollment classes where the instructor goes out on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
So at the same time, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they would still be engaging in work, continuing on assignments the teacher may have given them. And so they're doing this work all week long,
Absolutely.
but the BRCC instructor would only be there 3 days a week, just as they would if they were coming on campus.
All right, now we're going to take a break now, and we're going to be back in just a moment to continue with this great conversation.
Okay, stay tuned. We're not done. We've got more information with regard to dual enrollment. BRCC is still in studio with Bobbie Clark in just a moment.
BRB Network TV with Brian Hertzock.
Okay, you're still with us. That'll work. BRB Network TV, the Let's Talk About It television program. The edition with Bobbie Clark in studio. BRCC with Bobbie Clark. Here it is, the program.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About It. Our guests today are Dr. Sandra Stokes from Baton Rouge Community College and Monique Cross, Baton Rouge Community College. And we're talking about dual enrollment. And we're excited about this, parents, because if you may not be aware that your children, while still in high school, 11th and 12th grade, could be taking courses at Baton Rouge Community College, and these courses could count towards their college degree. And so we're back with Dr. Stokes and with Monique, and we're going to continue talking about the courses that are offered to these students. I think that's one of the things parents would really like to know. What's being offered? Is it the basic freshman courses that a new student would be taking going to college?
A lot of the courses are general education courses. Regardless of the curriculum that you're following, there are general education. You have some history, possibly some social science classes. So those are classes that they could take that would apply for whatever degree that they would choose. And while they're taking these general education courses, they would certainly apply in the degree that they would choose after they make that decision.
Okay,
so
great.
History might be a good one. Sometimes we'll offer a world history. There's a World History 1 and 2. Oftentimes we'll offer a psychology class or a sociology. Those are popular classes for dual enrollment.
Okay, do you offer math to the incoming or the students who are enrolled in a dual enrollment program?
Absolutely. We offer, our curriculum is open to the community. If the students are able to meet the eligibility criteria, such as prerequisites or co-requisites for that particular course, we open arms and embrace them. However, there are some guidelines that we have to adhere to that have been implemented by LOSFA. So if the parents are going to be paying for the student's tuition, then sky's the limit, and we're there to help them. Other courses that students have taken at Baton Rouge Community College are Math 101, which is the college level mathematics course. We've had some to take trigonometry. We have one that's going into calculus, and they've done very well.
Okay.
Nursing.
They're taking nursing.
Well, it's an exploration type course. Yes, and they're able to actually complete the prerequisites if they are ready or they're saying, I want to become a nurse.
So how many hours would you say a student, let's say who started and was very diligent about it, is able to take during that 11th and 12th grade year to qualify, that would qualify as college courses?
Well, students certainly could complete, I think with ease, the equivalent of one semester. 12 hours is considered full-time, and that's what a student would, if they were full-time, that they would complete that in their first semester. So if they took one course each semester in their junior and senior year, then that would be the equivalent of one semester behind them. If students are more diligent, they certainly could take a second class, and of course that would have more classes that are behind them.
Okay.
And we do have schools that are participating at that level where they're offering their students the opportunity to take more than one particular course. Baton Rouge High School is one of them, and then we have the Math Science Academy in Iberville Parish, which is comprised of the White Castle High School and Plaquemine High School, and they are offering their students the opportunity to take 2 courses. The system is paying for it, and what they're working towards is the completion of at least half of their associate's degree.
And BRCC, let me add this, BRCC offers classes in the evening, on the weekends, and online, so they don't necessarily have to take the class during their school hours for high school. Absolutely. They do have the option to come on the evening or the weekend to take additional courses if they're so inclined.
Okay, and let's talk about payment, because you've mentioned that a couple of times. How is it determined whether a child's enrollment in the dual enrollment program is paid for by, what is the name of it again? LASFA.
Mm-hmm.
And how what's that? What's the acronym? What are those abbreviations? What is it? LO what?
LOSFA.
LOSFA.
Yes.
Okay.
Louisiana Office of Student Financial Assistance.
Louisiana Office for Student Financial Assistance.
Yes.
Okay. So for a LAFA, you're able to have the students, if they qualify for LAFA, then it's paid for by the state?
Yes, ma'am, but because dual enrollment has become so popular, they've had to cut down on the budget. Therefore, at one time, students were able to take multiple courses. Now they're only allowed to take one per course, 1 3-hour course per semester, and if they want to take multiple courses, then would have to find other alternative means for tuition payment.
So if they are participating in LASFA, they can only take 1 course per semester?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's good to know, because that's something that when a parent is looking at his or her budget, then they're looking at what they can afford and what LASFA allows them to do. What are the qualifications for LASFA?
Okay. What the qualifications are: the student must have at least a composite score of 18 on either the plan or the ACT, an equivalent at SAT. They will need an 18 in English and a 19 in mathematics.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good.
And something I might add to that is the importance of the ACT test, because students that are aspiring to do this program, you would encourage them to take that ACT at an early age. Don't wait till your last semester in your senior year to take that. And
so what do you suggest is the best age for a student to start taking the ACT?
I think students in high school, as they enter high school, they should enter with the idea that they're planning for that. It is a very important test that dictates, their possible ability to participate in a program like this, or even scholarships.
Absolutely.
So I think that they should start planning in their freshman year for this. You start studying, you don't wait to the last minute, and I certainly would encourage students even as early as a sophomore year to take that test. They can take it multiple times, and if their score improves, well, then they certainly can use that higher score.
That's very good, and I think that's very important for parents to understand that they should not wait until the 11th and 12th grade before the children have taken the ACT for the first time.
Absolutely.
I had a young lady who was at our center just very recently, and I always introduce myself and start talking, and so my question to her, well, what grade are you in? Mm-hmm. And she said, I'm in the 12th grade. And my immediate question is, and and what was your score on the ACT? She said, this is my first time taking it, and I did not do well. And my next question is, why did you take so long? And she said, I was afraid. I was afraid to take it earlier. And I said, well, look what being afraid did. Now you're afraid you're not going to make it into college. So what's better, to be afraid to take it and go on and do it, or to not have the score you need when it's time to enter college? Because now her nerves are bad. She's got to go back and take this again and hope she gets a high enough score when she could have this all out of the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dean Cross made a very good suggestion. I'd just like to add one other thing. If the students go to any bookstore or even on the website and Google preparatory materials for ACT, I would advise parents to sit the students down in a mock or simulated environment so that they can have that anxiety eliminated.
Yes.
Because it's a very intimidating time for high school students.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
We're going to take a break here. We'll be back in just a moment, and we want you to stay tuned as we talk about dual enrollment. We'll be right back.
All right, all the information seems to be pouring out. Bobbie Clark is hammering out those questions. Stay tuned. We've got more coming just after the break, so make sure you be right there with us.
BRB Network TV with Brian Hertzock.
All right, BRB Network TV, the Baton Rouge Business Network. I'm your anchor for today's show, Brian Hertzock. Bobbie Clark's in studio with BRCC right after this particular segment. Hey, we've got Southern University is going to be in the house, okay? So make sure you stay tuned. Right now, let's go to the final segment with BRCC being interviewed by Bobbie Clark.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About It. And I have with me Dr. Sandra Stokes, who's the Director of Dual Enrollment at Baton Rouge Community College, and also Dean Monique Cross, who's the Dean for Business and Social Sciences at Baton Rouge Community College. And so we're going to talk now with the both of you about, we talked about who pays the college tuition, but who pays for the textbooks? Is this a LOFA also?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's not.
The reason I ask is because I know college school books can be pretty expensive.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what has happened is we work with a lot of different school districts, and they all handle that aspect of it differently. For example, some students will have their parents pay for the textbooks, some students, and be reimbursed. And then some school systems pay for it themselves, and they rotate the books between schools.
Okay, very good. All right. Now we want to talk about that application process. And I think that's so important that students always understand the importance of the application process. What is required and how do they complete that application? Either one of you?
Okay. What's happened is there's two different ways. Because we're trying to offer more opportunities, we are starting to venture more into individualized, but I'll speak on the group setting first. And what that is traditionally we've had to, I'll go out there and I'll speak with the students, I'll speak with the liaison at the high schools, and they'll tell me the course that they're wanting to offer the students based upon student interest and eligibility.
Okay, can I ask you a question there?
Sure.
I noticed you said what the student's interest, that the coordinator or the counselor may tell you what the student's interest is. And I would say that most students are not going to be asking for math. Most students are not going to be asking for science courses. So how do you kind of
Put a balance?
Yes, and
Okay.
start to encourage them to take courses that are really going to be relevant to them doing very well in college.
Okay.
We spoke about, starting in their junior year. And, maybe they have a fear of math, and maybe they would wait to their senior year possibly to take that course, as long as they meet the prerequisites for that math course. So then
Question.
Yes.
How many math courses do they need to take prior to coming into Baton Rouge Community College?
Well, they don't have to take, they have their requirements for their high school graduation, but they have their placement test, or you can look at the ACT score, and that will dictate whether they would need a remedial course or they're eligible to go straight into the college algebra.
So you do provide remedial courses also?
Yes, Baton Rouge Community College does have remedial courses in math and English as well.
All right.
But traditionally, we have stayed away from the remedial courses.
You want them coming to you for dual enrollment, not needing remediation?
Yes, ma'am, and what we're trying to do is to make sure that they're taking courses that are going to apply towards their matriculation process throughout college. You asked a question about the STEM disciplines.
Yes.
One of the school systems that I talked about earlier, they are dedicated towards the STEM disciplines. Those students have requested science classes and biology classes. We are venturing out more, as I stated earlier. So what we're doing now is to basically talk with each of the superintendents. I'm going out there speaking with them and letting them know that there is a shift, and we need to become more cognizant of it and offer the students a balance.
Absolutely.
Now, I agree with the comment that Dean Cross made earlier. She said that the first course is probably good at being one of the social science to allow the student to become acclimated, because you may have some students who are really not prepared. They're very intimidated, and then they may not even be eligible to take those college level courses. So we want that first experience to leave them with an thought like, yes, I can do this. I will be a college graduate.
Okay, I have a question before we go to this last question, and I want to get to it before we go off the air.
Okay.
I know you mentioned Baton Rouge Magnet High School as one of the schools that is active. I didn't hear you talk about some of our other high schools within the East Baton Rouge Parish. Can you tell me how many of our other high schools are actively participating? Yes.
We work with Baton Rouge High School, Bel Air High School, Broadmoor High School. Lee High School participated at one time, but they're no longer in existence. We work with Scotlandville Magnet High School. We've gone out to Capitol High School. Any school that wants to participate, our doors are open and we welcome them.
Excellent.
In addition to that, the Zachary School System and Central School System is participating as well.
Okay, great.
West Feliciana, Northeast.
Okay, great. So we have quite a few of the high schools that are participating, and so probably after this show, you will have even more of them calling you.
Certainly hope so.
And we hope so, because we are developing programs for them at this current time where we will allow them or give them an opportunity to come in on the weekends. So if they just start visiting our website and look for the different announcements that we have, we're always having different types of performances there. There's always some type of athletic activity out there. We just want to do whatever it is we can to build our community and just be the best that we can be.
That's excellent. Okay, let's talk about advantages and disadvantages of the dual enrollment.
I might address that. I think an advantage is a student gets the opportunity to start taking classes, like I was talking about earlier, in more of a comfortable environment. They're still in high school, and they're around their peers that they know, and it's a comfortable environment. And so it allows them to start taking those classes and working towards their degree And when they graduate from high school, then they have college credit behind them. So that is definitely an advantage. And I think, you asked about a disadvantage. And while I think it's all in how you look at it, one of the disadvantages that could possibly be is that a student doesn't take it seriously.
Yes.
I think it's very, very important that the students recognize and go into it with the idea that this is a college course, and I am going to have to meet the same rigor that is expected in the college setting, and they should make sure that they're paying attention to all the requirements for the course, because they do want to be successful in that course and not have a grade on their transcript that might not be something that they want.
Okay, so explain to these young children who may not ever have heard the word transcript. What is a transcript, and what do you mean when you say it will follow them for the rest of their lives?
A transcript is a reporting of all the college classes that they have taken, and it shows the courses that they have attempted and whether they have withdrawn from the course or what the grade is that they actually earned. That college transcript, like you said, follows you, because if you start, maybe even in the dual enrollment program, and maybe you decide that you're not ready to continue on right after high school, that transcript doesn't go away. It stays there, and when you're ready to come back, those grades are still there. And so that does impact your GPA and your ability maybe to enroll in some programs that have some requirements for GPAs.
So that's word for the wise. You have to take it seriously.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So any other advantages and disadvantages? I think it's such an awesome program. It gives the students an opportunity to really step out there and maybe even finish college a year earlier.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, it has been so great having you with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, I've really enjoyed it. And parents, here you have an opportunity to get your juniors and seniors ready for Baton Rouge Community College, and they can go 11th and 12th grade, right?
That's right.
Okay, so now you have an opportunity for them to take college courses while they're still in high school. And so we thank you so much, Dr. Sandra Stokes and Dean Monique Cross.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you with us. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure meeting with you.
Same here. Okay.
Okay, it's still on. The energy is still right there. We'll be back after these messages. We're going to have one of the representatives from Southern University talking on the same subject, but about how their particular dual enrollment works when we return.
BRB Network TV with Brian Hertzock.
Okay, just like I've promised, we've got a representative from Southern University. It's going to be talking about their dual enrollment. Bobbie Clark is hammering it out, getting that information that you need. Here it is, Bobbie Clark with Let's Talk About It in studio.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About It. My guest is Mr. Renee, is Senior Academic Recruiter, Office of Recruitment at Southern University. Welcome,
Bobbie
Mr.
Clark,
Renee.
thank you for having us here, having Southern University here, and what little moments I can spend with you. We're going to have a good time, but thank you for having Southern University on your program.
Oh, you're quite welcome. As you noticed in the past, when I was talking with Baton Rouge Community College, we were talking about dual enrollment.
Yes.
And so we want to talk about dual enrollment because, as I appreciate, Southern University also has dual enrollment.
Yes, we do. Under the new program, one of the things most people know about dual enrollment, started calling it now Early Start. But Southern has an Early Start program, dual enrollment program that we invite students into. Our program, we have an agreement with Advanced Baton Rouge Charter Schools and obviously East Baton Rouge Parish Schools and Capital Academies. And our students work there. Just a little different. Now, we've also had face-to-face time, but we're migrating to, and right now we're doing online.
Okay,
and we have an online agreement.
You have again?
We have East Baton Rouge Parish School System.
Okay, all of East Baton Rouge.
All of East Baton Rouge Parish.
All right. and
advanced Baton Rouge charter schools,
okay,
which have multiple schools, not only in in Baton Rouge area, but in other parishes.
They have one in New Roads.
Yes.
Okay, and then they have several schools in East Baton Rouge Parish.
Exactly,
right.
and also Capital.
And Capital
Middle,
with the
they're
100 black men.
with the 100 black men.
Okay.
And the agreements we have with them, and the difference in ours, we're doing online. We're doing on. In fact, just in the month of July, just passed, we've trained quite a few more faculty members in their disciplines to do online class. Actually, we have our a certification for online classes that the students are doing.
Okay, let's talk about that. Now, you're saying that all of your courses are online. We're talking
right now,
about,
all of our courses are online.
all right, we're talking about the dual enrollment courses.
Exactly.
Okay, what courses are you offering?
What we're doing is general education courses.
General
Our students are
education
starting with general
courses.
education students. Now, in the
Okay.
past, don't get me wrong, we have done, we have had face-to-face classes too. We've had those classes. Right now, the agreement that we're doing right is online.
So all of the courses now are online. For dual enrollment, and the other term is
Early start.
Early start. Okay, so make sure you understand, parents, if you hear early start, dual
Same
enrollment,
as dual enrollment.
it's the same thing.
Yeah, if parents said, if I've been trying to get my child into a dual enrollment, and you say you only do early start, same thing. Same thing.
Very good, very good. All right, so now what is the GPA requirements, or all of the requirements for the students who are enrolling at Southern? Are you following LAFA also?
I'm following LAFA's rules and
Okay.
regular, because that's and part of that is a funding base. So we all follow.
Very good.
2-point GPA, 18 on the ACT and equivalency of the SAT. Must have taken the plan and the ACT.
Must have taken both.
Must have taken R, plan
And R?
Yeah, and come over those R, and come over
Okay.
those equivalency.
All right, plan or ACT.
Yes. Now, most of the time, the student has had an ACT, and also you want to. They say a recommendation in LAFA's rule. The state of Louisiana rule says, and a recommendation from the school. Well, we know the principal head the school, so it's a recommendation from the principal and a recommendation from the counselor, and the parents sign an agreement that they want their child in this dual enrollment early start program.
Very good.
So you
very
have to have
good.
permission from everyone. It's an agreement of the whole family.
How important is the ACT? Because now we're talking about four-year institution, and I know 18 is what LAFA requires.
Mm-hmm.
But ordinarily, what is the minimal score at Southern for an entering freshman?
An entering freshman must have a 2-point GPA in the core,
Okay.
20 on the ACT, and then in the there are sub scores in there. 19 in mathematics and 18 in English, or 18 in English. Now, that is for a student that is entering Southern University in fall 2011. In 2012, as another common term we're going to pick up, is called Core 4. Core 4. You need 4 courses, 4 classes, 4 units. To a student that's entering right now, and this is July, so entering in August, has to have 17 and a half units. 4 units of English, 3 units of mathematics, 3 units of social science, 3
Okay,
units
let's
of
not
natural
go
science.
so fast because we want the listening audience to
Okay.
really get this.
4 units of English,
4 units of English.
3 units of mathematics.
And any particular math?
The lowest one you can have is Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2.
Okay.
And then 4 units of social science.
Are you requiring
3 units of social science and 3 units of natural science. But the point I was going to make, in 2012, all those will turn to 4 units. So we're at 17 and a half units right now. We will be at 19 in 2012.
I didn't hear you mention foreign language at all.
Yeah, and that would give you the 17 and a half for 2011, or 19 in 2012, and there would be the 2 units of foreign language in the same discipline.
Required.
So, required.
Okay.
Yes, I did, and I apologize. I didn't get to the foreign language, but 2 units of foreign language. And glad you brought that up, and glad you make a point of it, because that's a key thing. Parents and students say, "Well, I didn't know I need foreign language."
They're good.
Because people say, "Oh yeah, I got the mathematics, got the social science, got the English," because you got to have the 4 units of English.
Mm-hmm.
But people say, "Why the foreign language?" This is the curriculum. This is the curriculum to be admitted to a university. You must have 2 units of foreign language in the same discipline. I mean by you must have Spanish, elementary Spanish, and an advanced Spanish. not elementary Spanish and,
And
elementary French.
Okay.
They must be in the same discipline.
Interesting.
Got
Very
to be in
good.
the same discipline.
Very
and
good.
that key point, like I said, because the Board of Regents core, that we will be at 19 in 2012. So we have an entering class right now. And a lot of the people we're going to be talking about right now that are looking at your show is probably going into the 11th or 12th grade.
Yes.
So their curriculum is going to change, the 12th graders that are entering in here in August.
So it's important for students who are going to be entering at Southern that in the fall 2012, that they know now that they're going to need 4 years of math, 4 years of English, and what were the
Social science.
Social science.
And natural science.
Natural science,
Yes.
4 years.
And then the two
units
of foreign language.
Okay, that's very good to know, because still I find students are not taking a foreign language while they're still in high school.
Not taking any, you're right, you're
Not
correct. Not
taking
any, and you need two.
And you need two. So that tells you, parents, you need to make sure that you're listening and writing this down so you understand. Things keep changing, and it's no sense in asking a question why. It's to your children, why not? And make sure that they understand that they can't change the rules, so they might as well get on the ship and go on and flow and do well in these courses.
Exactly.
And let's talk about STEM. That's my favorite topic.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I was doing some research earlier, and Secretary of Education under our President Obama, Arnie Duncan, stated that there are 2 million jobs available in the United States right now which cannot be filled. And those jobs, because what is happening is that those persons who were coming from other countries no longer need to come here for the jobs, because they've started to really do great things in their own countries.
Exactly.
So now China and India have their own economies that are bustling. So they don't need to come here for the jobs. So we've got jobs in science, technology, engineering, and math. 2 million jobs, and they can't be filled.
Can't be filled. And another thing too, Secretary Duncan was probably being conservative in those numbers too. And we talked to students about those areas: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And when you say that, I keep thinking in the back of my mind, Dr. Deola Bagioka, who at Southern, who teaches physics, and he preaches that all the time and talks about that thing, and has scholarship information and things like that. And just let me give you something real quick.
Well, we're going to take a break
talk
here.
about that.
Okay, and then when we come back from our break, then we'll talk about that some more, because this is interesting conversation. So we'll be right back. So stay tuned to Let's Talk About It.
We're coming back after this particular break, but it's going to be the final segment with Mr. Robert Renee, Bobbie Clark, still in studio, Southern University, dual enrollment. Get your paper, get your pencils, your pen, whatever you got to do. Get your iPads, whatever it takes. Get some notes, because this is very valuable information. How students in high school can get prepared for college courses right now, getting credits built up for college while they're presently in high school. Make sure you stay tuned. This is BRB Network TV. Let's talk about it. See you in a minute.
BRB Network TV with Brian Hertzock.
Okay, our final segment with Let's Talk About It, this particular edition with dual enrollment. We've got Southern University in studio. Bobbie Clark is lining out the questions, getting the information for you. Here it is, the final segment.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. My guest, Robert Renee, Senior Academic Recruiter, Office of Recruitment, Southern University. And we're talking about preparation for college. So, Robert, when we left, we were talking about what students need to, what kinds of courses they need to take in high school, making sure they're prepared. How important is the ACT and how early? I ask this over and over because I want to make sure parents understand. It's my mantra. Get it done. Start early so you know what your child's score is so you can build upon it. How important is that ACT?
It's very important. And that's one of the things I talk about all the time, too. And I was discussing this with you when we were preparing for the show. I had a group that asked me to speak about Southern University. They said, you have an hour. And at the end of it, they said, you talked about the ACT 45 minutes and Southern about 15 minutes. But this is what it was. If you do not qualify ACT, GPA, we can't recruit you into our university. So
Absolutely.
Preparation is a thing, like in real estate, preparation.
Yes.
You have to be prepared. Then you recommend that they take it in the 8th grade. And some parents say, oh no, I don't want to scare my child that way. Or like you were saying earlier about the students said they're afraid. Take it and get rid of the fear.
Yes.
And you need to start early. You take it multiple times. We talk about Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever played the game. The man can fly. In the rare cases he was not in the game, he was practicing.
Absolutely.
He's on the bicycle. He's doing something on the sideline.
Yes.
You practice over and over again until you get that high score. And what is that high score? Not only admission, it's scholarship. My little mantra is this: somebody other than your mom and daddy should pay for you to go to college.
Absolutely.
So therefore, good ACT, and by taking it, it not only gives you scholarship money, it prepares you to go to college. It's good test preparation for when you're in college.
Absolutely.
You can. It teaches you how to do things. It teaches you the thought process. It keeps it going. It exercises it.
And I think another thing is I have parents that tell me, well, my child didn't do well on the ACT, but my child is a 3.8 student.
And I hear it all the time.
Okay.
Yes, they are. And I said there should be awarded for it. That is a great thing. But you must have the ACT. There's no way you can get around it. Like when I was a kid, my mother would say, when in Rome, you do like the Romans. But the high school teacher said the same thing. This is what we have to do. This is what you need to go to college. Let's do it. Don't worry about it. Don't use up your energy talking about, I'm afraid of it, like the young lady
Yes.
said. Prepare for it. It's easy to prepare. I do this too. When a student, I have an email for students when they contact me as a recruiter. I have the ACT prep workshop. It's an ACT and designed by ACT that I can email them. You can go on it. You prep. ACT will prep you, and then they give you a practice test. And when you and it's scored. When you prepared, then now you go and take the original the actual ACT exam.
Okay. I notice so often that children are not comprehending.
Yes.
And so basically they memorize a lot, but they're not really comprehending.
Not having reading comprehension.
Absolutely. And their vocabularies are usually weak. And we find there have been studies done that show that the average black child's vocabulary is 35 words less than his white counterparts.
Exactly.
And when I talk to my students and I talk to them about it, then they immediately become offended. And I say that's a tool you work from, because it comes from reading.
Comes from reading.
Reading with comprehension is reading with understanding. And so that means the stronger your vocabulary is, the stronger you're going to understand, and you're going to draw much better conclusions.
You're going to do well on the exam, because if you have reading comprehension down first, and if you
Yes.
take an ACT prep, that's what they're going to start with first. You have to comprehend it to do well to understand it. And your case is right, because students will come up and they're not doing well in an area. Most of the time, it's mathematics or science. And most of the time, they know it. But the reading comprehension, they did not understand the question. So we
Yeah.
got to go to reading comprehension, and it's repetition. We got to go over and over so they can understand those things. Yeah, we talk about that. They say that this, so you don't understand it. But if we get the reading comprehension, let them understand. Because you're taught in the high school, an ACT is acquired knowledge. The knowledge you
Absolutely.
acquire from 8th to 12th grade. And all you're doing is, because like I said, you don't study for an ACT.
It's
You
problem
prepare.
solving.
It's problem solving.
Yes.
You prepare for it. And the best way to prepare for an ACT is to take it. Start in the 8th grade. You should take Algebra 1 and your first ACT in the 8th grade. By the time you leave the 11th grade, you should have had it 4 times. Take it to 4 times in the senior year. You can actually take it, they'll let you take it 12 times.
Excellent.
You can do that. You can take it 12 times. You can't. Now, if you've done this right, if you have gone to class, and you must do it, gone to class, taken good notes, reviewed your notes, do not cram the night before. You should have done it, prepare ahead of time. you can do well.
Now,
You
we
will
talked
understand it.
about, Robert, you were just talking about having the college paid for and not by parents. And I think
Yes.
that's so important
That's
because
right.
there's nothing more beautiful than a parent having done his or her job earlier and to see that child go through 4 years of college and maybe even master's and PhD
Exactly.
without them having to come up with any more money. All right, so what is the GPA that a child needs when we're looking at a child being able to have everything paid for? What's the grade point average and the score, the ACT score that really pretty much locks that child in that those things are all paid for?
Let me tell you how it's done at Southern University at Baton Rouge. Under our honors college, to be a part of our honors, and a bulk of scholarships come through our honors college.
Okay.
A student with a 3.3 GPA
All
and a
right.
28 on the ACT can qualify for what students call a full ride. That's tuition, room, the residential life, dormitory room paid for,
Okay.
a meal ticket, books, and then there's a $800 stipend in there. You can do that. Now, and that's coming in as a freshman with that criteria. Now, once you move into your senior college or after you finish those general education courses that we teach in our dual enrollment or early start, you go to and you qualify and you go to your senior college. All those colleges and departments offer exams, scholarships for their majors. So you are set that you can qualify for scholarships in your major. Qualify for scholarship. It's just not. Don't get me. I don't want them to take it wrong that we're just giving a whole bunch of scholarships. You must qualify and you must keep them. And I want to stop. I want to put a little pin in a myth that I
we're
hear.
running out of time, so this will be your last comment.
My comment is that some students say, "Well, I have a 4-year scholarship," but remember, it's not a 4-year scholarship. If you stay
Contingent
qualified,
upon.
meet your GPA while you're in high school, you will keep that scholarship. So it's all about work. You got to be prepared and you got to do work.
Okay, it has been such a great pleasure having you on
Thank
the
you,
show.
Bobbie Clark, for having me.
I've enjoyed you, and hopefully we can get back together again and talk some more about all of those things we need to do to ensure that our children are ready for college.
And if anyone needs to contact, they can contact me at Southern University at 225-771-4000. Then go on our website at www.subr.edu.
Okay, you heard that. Give me that number again.
225 number 771-4000.
771-4000. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Bobbie
and thank
Clark.
you for the show. And so we will see you the next time on Let's Talk About It.
Okay, that wraps up this particular episode of Let's Talk About It with Bobbie Clark. Special thanks to all of our guests that came out today in studio to share their perspective. Special thanks goes out to our host, Mrs. Bobbie Clark, for hammering it out, getting that information that we truly need for all of the folks here in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. I'm Brian Hertzock, your anchor for today's show, BRB Network TV, the Baton Rouge Business Network, with the Let's Talk About It edition with Bobbie Clark. See you next time.